welcome to the latest Tempo Storm Wild Meta Snapshot breakdown for Scholomance Academy. We've seen the Wild Meta evolve in the weeks following the Darkglare nerf, and we're excited to report that the meta's approaching a state of balance once again. Aggro decks have surged back into the meta, with Discard Warlock, Kingsbane Rogue, and Aggro Druid all fighting for the title of Smork King, while Reno Priest is still standing tall as the overall deck to beat. However, no strategy is foolproof in Wild Hearthstone, and as you'll see, there are a wide variety of classic decks and up-and-comers that are making their mark on the format as well. Which decks are the best picks for tackling the new meta? Come join our Wild Meta experts as we track the format's latest developments. As always, be sure to subscribe to the Tempo Strategy YouTube channel and ring the bell to stay up to date with our Wild Hearthstone content. Now let's begin. In terms of power level, Reno Priest stands at the top of Tier 1. With its powerful Highlander suite, effective anti-aggro removal options, and inevitable fast damage OTK combo, it's hard to argue with its effectiveness, especially after it received powerful upgrades with Lorekeeper Polkelt and other cards from Scholomance Academy. Thanks to Raza's looming presence, the format's aggro decks have had to evolve to feature vicious high rolls along with the potential for late-game endurance. As for the slower decks of the meta, they have to go out of their way to pack tech for the matchup in order to stand a chance against Reno Priest. Only over-the-top combo decks have a natural advantage against it, but Reno Priest can pack its own anti-combo tech to swing the game back to its advantage. Overall, Reno Priest is one of the cornerstones of the meta, and we don't expect that to change anytime soon, especially as the meta becomes more and more aggressive. Speaking of aggression, there are numerous fast aggro decks that are all staking a claim for the top seat in Wild, but for now, Discard Warlock is in the lead. After the Darkglare nerf, Disco Lock has stepped out of the shadows to become a dominating force. Against other aggro decks, Disco Lock has enough early board presence and tempo swing tools to compete for the board, and against anti-aggro decks, Warlock has more than enough card draw and burst damage to maintain pressure deep into the late game. Discard Warlock is hard to overcome, and even if the meta bends to counter aggro, we expect this deck to keep a strong matchup spread across the board thanks to its potential to steamroll opponents with a lucky draw. Kingsbane Rogue narrowly trails behind Discard Warlock as the last deck in Tier 1. The Pirate package sets the gold standard for early board development in Wild, and against decks that can compete for board against it, Kingsbane Rogue has unparalleled burst damage potential with its massively buffed weapon, along with fantastic reload potential with cards like Secret Passage and Raiding Party. Compared to the other top tier decks, Kingsbane may have developed a reputation as a glass cannon thanks to its weakness to weapon removal, but with the way the meta is developing, weapon removal is a falling stock since most of the other aggro decks don't feature weapons at all, and that gives Kingsbane Rogue a lingering advantage. If you don't tech against Kingsbane Rogue, you become an easy target, but if you make weapon removal a priority in this meta, you do so at your own risk. Tier 2 in the post-nerf world is packed with old standbys as well as up-and-coming strategies, making it fairly diverse without Darkglare in the mix. There are more than a dozen viable strategies that are top legend worthy, and a few of those deserve special mention. Aggro Druid has become one of the meta's breakout favorites and has clawed its way to the top of Tier 2. Not only does it have unparalleled explosiveness with its cheap early minions and buff spells, but it also has uncanny reload potential. Voracious Reader allows it to churn through the deck quickly, and Embiggen ensures its threats are competitive even going into the late game. So with this kind of power and speed, why is this deck not sitting at the top of Tier 1? Most of Wild's other strong decks are well equipped to stand against it by either competing for the board themselves or by packing enough removal and healing to outlast the early swarm. Still, Aggro Druid can easily overwhelm any player with its best draws, and with its massive popularity and accessibility, you have no choice but to keep this deck on your radar. Tempo Quest Mage also remains a favorite, even though you would expect its popularity to decline in the face of aggro. Fact of the matter is, Quest Mage remains one of the most consistent counters to Reno Priest and other slow Highlander decks, while still being a reasonable choice against other decks thanks to its explosive swing turns with Sorcerer's Apprentice, Evocation, and Flame Waker. If Quest Mage is healthy and stable going into the later turns, not much can be done to stop it, and if the meta adjusts to hard counter aggro, Quest Mage will be there to take full advantage. Odd Rogue also remains a solid standby deck in the post-nerf meta, mostly thanks to its broad flexibility. On its base, Odd Rogue's Pirate package and upgraded weapon can pressure opponents and compete for board, and in addition, Odd Rogue has a wide range of options to be tuned to beat any expected meta. If you need to win the race against combo decks, Volpira Toxin Blade, Deadly Poison, and even Sinister Strike will give you the extra burst in speed. If you need to hold the board against aggro, Magic Carpet can give you the means to fight back, and against Reno, you can use Beneath the Grounds to turn off Highlander cards so you can wear them down with your enduring threats and endless weapons. options. Overall, this flexibility keeps Odd Rogue relevant in Wild's evolving meta. Rounding up our Tier 2 breakdown, let's talk about Turtle Mage, which has become another breakout fan favorite in the Scholomance Academy meta. Turtle Mage revolves around Tortle and Pilgrim, which combines with Potion of Illusion to set up endless recursion loops. With Ice Block and Frost Nova in the deck, Tortle and Pilgrim can create an endless wall of defense, and with a range of damage dealing and disruptive battlecry minions at its disposal, Turtle Mage can lock opponents out of the game and finish them off quickly. This combo can seem overwhelming, but the deck can struggle against fast aggro, so the meta's current aggressive nature is keeping this deck in check for now. Still, the deck is quite powerful against slower strategies, so if you're not playing aggro, you'll want to have a contingency plan to deal with this deck one way or another. In this snapshot, we've highlighted a rise in aggro alongside Reno Priest's Bedrock presence. Is there any deck that can compete with both? We're keeping an eye on Reno Mage builds featuring Luna's Pocket Galaxy as a potential counter. Reno Mage has a wealth of anti-aggro options and a robust Highlander package to give it better than fair odds against aggro, but it's against Reno Priest that the deck truly shines. Luna's Pocket Galaxy gives the deck access to a threat density that's challenging for Reno Priest to answer turn after turn, while Ice Block and Reno Jackson provide solid defenses against Priest's OTK combo. Reno Mage has a broad range of options, but compared to Reno Priest, it's much less straightforward, which makes it challenging yet rewarding to play. Savvy Mage fans will find that the deck can be tuned to fight almost any expected meta, making it an excellent yet offbeat choice for climbing ladder in the post-nerf world. In conclusion, the post-nerf Wild meta is settling in, and a wide variety of strategies are viable in the top tiers now that Darkglare is out of the picture. Aggro decks are on the upswing, but Reno Priest and other decks are gearing up to weather the storm, while combo decks like Quest Mage are standing by to take advantage if the meta shifts too hard to counter aggression. Is a balanced Wild meta on the horizon? We're keeping a close eye on Wild as it develops, so as always, check out the full meta report on our website for all the details, and be sure to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell to stay up to date with our Wild Hearthstone content. Thanks for watching!